Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Conor McGilligan. We're back here with your rumour mill bits. As I say, hope you're all doing really well. Listen, I have to put this out there because I got very, very giddy when I came home yesterday and had a couple of packages there for me. Now, you're probably thinking, Conor, what hoodie is this? Well, this is a Tiger Tanaka hoodie. Now, this is probably the best thing me and Back Four have ever done. Literally the best thing. Absolutely love it. You can get your Tiger Tanaka merch now. We've got an entire Tanaka range, which is well worth having a look at, everybody. Back for link in the description below. We've got Matteo Joseph bits. We've got Joel Peru bits. We've got loads of bits that you can go on, have a look at. Very, very affordable price as well for the quality that you get. Rest assured from me, it's very, very good. We deliver to everywhere as well. Just wanted to mention that as well because I don't mention it enough. And we actually have a new batch right now available on Back 4/1 Leeds fan channel. Links in the description if you can't find that. As well, everybody, sponsored by IPM Group UK. All your CCTV surveillance needs through Rick and the gang. Keep it in the Leeds United community. We've also got football prizes. We've done a really, really good prize, everybody. I think there's about 100 tickets left. £3 per entry. Get involved. Link in the description below for some fantastic prizes. How the devil are all of you? It's match day, people. What is going on in your world? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? What's going on? Is it nighttime? I've just spilled coffee all over my phone. Good start, Connor. Honestly, it's been one of those starts, people. You know, when you get into it and you think, you wake up on a morning, you wake up with a little bit of a headache and you think, oh, God. Then I think, oh, I've got the rumour mill. And then I'm doing it at 10 a.m. every morning. And then the equipment just gets me again. But listen, we're not complaining today. We're not complaining. We're here for a Leeds United win. If you haven't checked out the preview with my old man, make sure you do so. Yesterday, everybody, well worth it. The full preview is available on the Patreon. I can see loads of you in the chat. Dino's here. Chris King is here. Jamie Dallas is here. There is a lot of comments. This is what I wanted, people. You're all back for the 10 a.m. lives. Absolutely love it. Darryl says, small price to pay for a country that you like living in. Look, you guys are already full flung talking about everything. Darryl says, been doing your hair, Connor. Mate, believe it or not, this mess on the top of my head doesn't take that long. Evan Ferguson, come on. Joe in the building. How you doing, mate? Hope everything's good. Smash a like, people. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so let's start with the big man, shall we? I wanted to come on and just absolutely kibosh this, to be honest. Look, Evan Ferguson, I've seen it on the forums. I've seen it on social media. I've seen Leeds fans getting very, very excited about it. Is it likely that Evan Ferguson will be coming to Leeds United? I don't think it would be. Would Evan Ferguson be an absolutely lovely addition? He would be. My main quarrel with him is probably the fact that he's injury battered. And look, it's not been a good year for him, Evan Ferguson. It would be lovely to have a bit of an Irish contingency back at Ellen Road, and Evan Ferguson would spearhead that. I just don't see it happening, people. They've been speaking a lot as well in terms of Brighton about their level of what they want Evan Ferguson to play at. Matt Law was mentioning yesterday, as you can see the tweet on here, that he is available on loan. However, they want him to go to a Premier League side. But what they do have to have, everybody, is interest from Premier League sides. Now, we look at the sides that might be interested. Leicester City, maybe Crystal Palace, I don't know, but probably Leicester are the main ones. I've seen a lot of people saying Ipswich. I don't see that with Liam Delap up front. He's the exact same striker, and he's scored, 6 goals so far, and he's playing really, really well. I can't see that, if I'm honest with you. I don't think that will happen. And I've mentioned to you guys before, if Leeds stay there, and if Leeds are in sort of negotiations, if they're talking at least, if they're opening the conversation, then Leeds will be there till the end of the window. When it comes to Evan Ferguson, a loan would be perfect. They're not going to sell him because he's too damn good. But coming to Leeds United, what's it going to do for his career? He's going to elevate it because he's going to absolutely batter the Championship if he's fit. As I say, the Irish contingency back at Ellen Road. And at some point, we do have to recognise that Leeds do have a significant pull. Leeds have a significant pull. This is why I was mentioning, everybody, at the beginning of the Rumour Mill shows, Leeds have to be top by January. It is so significant because clubs are going to look at Leeds, especially when they're in the Premier League. And well, it primarily is when they're in the Premier League. They're going to look at Leeds and think, that's a one-way ticket to the Premier League for me. And that is how footballers think. As much as we want it to be about Leeds United, Leeds United, Leeds United, a lot of the time it's about money and Premier League football. And they both sort of coincide with each other, correlate with each other quite nicely as well. So overall, if you're Fulham's, if your Leicesters don't get that agreement done for whatever reason, if you look at Evan Ferguson, and if you're Brighton and you think, right, okay, well, he's going to be in a relegation battle, he might be able to get them out of it. It's character building, of course. But if Leicester City, if we look at them now, and they've got a one-way ticket to the Championship, which I think a lot of us think that they have, if you're Brighton, would you want to send Evan Ferguson on loan there? Is he really going to develop there? Now, you look at Fulham, it's a bit of a different conversation there, I think. It's a bit of a different conversation. It's going to be mid-table mediocrity for Fulham. They play some good football. Marco Silva's an excellent manager, in my opinion. And look, you're going to probably thrive as an individual there, as a young individual there as well, and maybe get your mojo back. So Fulham's maybe a bit of a different conversation. I think there's probably going to be talk as well at Brentford, maybe, for the signature of someone like Evan Ferguson. I think that'll be a lovely addition with them, with someone like Visser up front. And obviously there's Mbeumo up there, isn't there? But they definitely need depth up there, aside from Ivan Toney, obviously leaving. But Leeds, if Leeds are there and nothing gets considered with these Premier League clubs for whatever reason, as long as Leeds are knocking on the door, it's okay. Now, the question then comes, everybody, do Leeds United need a striker? Do Leeds United need a striker? Now, for me, no. And I mentioned this yesterday on the Room Mill. If you guys did miss it, I did mention yesterday that I don't think we need that striker. I think the primary role for Leeds United to invest in is a goalkeeper. I think that's been drastically overlooked again by a lot of the fan base. But I think number two, or number one, then number two, is a central attacking midfielder. We spoke on the show yesterday about why I think we need a central attacking midfielder, who I think it's going to help. And almost if you've got, your right side sorted up and sewed up in terms of Bogle and Nonto, and then your left side sewed up in terms of Firpo and Ramazani, how a central attacking midfielder would come in and facilitate the best play from those four players, but also a certain number 9 in the middle, who would definitely sort of have his career progress by consistency around him, but also by a central attacking midfielder who can pick the lock. We know Aronson's been really good for Leeds, but he's not a natural central attacking midfielder, which I think at points Leeds United drastically miss. Okay, let's speak about the games last night as well, everybody. I'm going to get into your comments in just a little bit. Let me know what you think about Evan Ferguson. Do you think it's realistic? Will it happen? Is kiboshing the right idea? I don't think it will happen, but if Leeds are in the race and it doesn't quite happen with certain Premier League sides, I don't know, maybe they think his progression at Leeds United would be a nice little move. He's going to be top of the division. He's going to be playing under Daniel Farke, who's got a proven championship record. And, I think the only thing that's going to really hamper Leeds in these negotiations is I don't think Evan Ferguson is going to be coming to Leeds at any time soon when it comes to a permanent transfer. So would both sides be all right with a loan? I certainly would be, but I then think you've got to look at maybe a Bamford and a Gelhardt situation. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section below. Andrew says, evening, Connor. We still need a win tonight. Morning, Connor. I had you booked in for this morning. Good man, mate. I really appreciate that. Keep getting your thoughts in. Love the sheet templates you have, Connor. That's good, mate. I'm happy. It's a little bit of an update for you as well. And number 10 says Daryl. Is something that he's definitely looking at. Evan is a couple of miles away from me in Country Meath. We'll go and have a chat with his parents. Good lad, Tony. I love to hear that, mate. Love to hear that. 34 likes, guys. An absolute disgrace. Across all platforms, there's 500 of you in the building this morning. Make sure you're heading on over to YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, I know a lot of you have been coming over, which has been great. But make sure you head on over to YouTube. Free account as well. And make sure you're slapping a like on the video and getting included in the community as well. Okay, so let's speak about last night. Sunderland drawing with West Bromwich Albion. Good result for Leeds. Once again, watched a little bit of the game. Wasn't impressed with either side. Have to say, when you're looking at maybe top two encroaching, I think it almost feels like we're getting to that stage right now, in my opinion, where maybe you're going to see the top three breaking away. Now, it's really important tonight. Borough are playing tonight. Leeds are playing tonight. If Borough win tonight, it's all well and good us looking forward as well. And, Leeds win tonight, we go back top of the table. But it's all well and good looking forward, everybody. If we lose tonight, worst case scenario, even if we draw, that's Middlesbrough 2 or 3 points behind us if they win. So we've really got to, it feels like there's still pressure on tonight. We're fourth right now, as you can see on the league table right now. Leeds United are fourth. And that's how tight it feels right now. Sunderland have been dropping like a stone. It's 5 draws on the bounce for them. Can they rekindle that form? I feel like they're going to have to do something in January, although Sunderland's technique is not to go and spend loads of money. They work almost on a little bit of a money ball approach. So how are they going to sort of work this window? It's going to be interesting to see that. Are they a couple of seasons away from really going and battering this league? It feels like Sunderland are getting closer every single year. But the three boys, I think, who we expected to be challenging at the top three. Maybe excluding Luton, which I'm quite surprised with. I thought they'd do quite well this season, and they still might. They're only 8 points off the playoffs. You know, it doesn't take that much, and when you've got the squad that they've got to really start getting a run going. But you look at the teams in Burnley, in Leeds, in Sheffield United. Sheffield United winning last night 3-0, and Burnley winning last night 2-0 against Coventry. It just feels for me, and morning to everyone who's just joining, by the way. Morning, Joseph. Morning, Nige. It just feels to me that we know what's going to happen. For me, Burnley are going to win the playoffs. I think that's going to happen. Their defensive record is insane. They kept it up last night, and maybe that's been a little bit arrogant from me because I still think that, you know, they could still win the league, Burnley. They're just not that impressive, but I remember saying about Ipswich consistently, they're not going to do it. They're not going to keep this up. They're not going to win 3-2. They're not going to be winning 3-1. They're not going to be winning 4-2 every week. They did. They got on with it. McKenna was a great manager. Farker isn't that, but they've conceded 6 goals, everyone. Let me say that one more time, including last night even. So they're an extra game week to Leeds United. We've got an unbelievable defensive record, and we've conceded 12, okay? They've conceded 6 goals in, 16, 17 games? That is outrageous. So a really good goalkeeper in James Trafford, a really good back line. The goalkeeper, I think, is absolutely massive. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But James Trafford, Cooper, Johansson, maybe Vigouroux in there. But they've got there's top 4, top 5 keepers there. And a lot of our competitors have top keepers. Patterson, another one at Sunderland. Palmer, another one at West Bromwich Albion. So these have top keepers. There's a big outlier here, everybody. And I won't spell it out to you. But yeah, listen, let's get on to the next bit of news when it comes to Sheffield United. Sheffield United 3-0 win. We're just going to have to keep that consistency up, everybody. We're going to have to win tonight. And maybe this is what it's going to be like till the end of the season, people. Maybe this is what it's going to be like till the end of the season. Nip and tuck. Win, 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 win. We've just got to keep on doing what we need to do, which is winning the football match. What are you predicting tonight, Connor? Do you know what, mate? I'm nervous about tonight, lads and lasses. I'm nervous about tonight. We'll get on to that at the end, but I am. Yes, Andrew says, smash that like, everybody. This is how Connor survives. It is indeed, my friend. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you slap in a like. I really appreciate that. And this will be every morning at 10 a.m. Apologies this morning for the lateness, but yeah. For some of you just arriving, we've got Tiger Tanaka merch. Make sure you look at the description below. I know you guys will love this. But yes, also last night, tonight, everybody, we're going to be live with a watch on the instant match reaction. Okay, let's get on to the next little bit of news. Joe Gelhardt appears to be harnessing news from interest, I should say, from Celtic and Rangers. Quite interestingly, I mentioned this on the rumour mill yesterday. And then suddenly, you do feel with some of these, you know, these clickbaity sites. I literally just thought to myself, do you know what? Celtic and Rangers were very interested in him last January. And I wonder if this is going to start revitalising itself again in this window. It probably makes sense. And then out of nowhere, we've got reports saying Rangers are in for him. It could be complete coincidence, or we can have some people watching the rumour mill, everybody, with these non-inside scoops, but me just having a hunch. But yeah, Celtic and Rangers expressed interest in the youngster, the 22-year-old, last January. Celtic going as far as saying that they were going to commit to a bid. That never happened. Hull City were probably the most serious as well in the summer window. Joe Gelhardt, for me, we have to facilitate a move away for the Scouser. He has to leave Leeds United. Why? Because Leeds need to, look, a lot of people think we need to get another striker in. I get it. I do understand it, but I would rather work on a consistent basis with Matteo Joseph. You guys know, don't shoot me, don't kill me. But you guys know that's the way I would rather go. I would rather harness a really good environment around Matteo Joseph and progress with him. If it doesn't work, we've still got a sharpshooter in Joel Peru to bring in, but I think it will work ultimately. You're not that consistent everywhere else. You don't get this reputation and people speaking about you like Guilavogui has done, the under-21s Spanish manager has done, the Spanish national manager has done. You bag it, you being a bagsman for the under-21s at national level, and then you're coming back to Leeds and just not really hitting those levels. You are hitting those levels. It's just the goals that he's not really able to get at this moment in time. Is he too rash? I think so. Is he trying to get maybe on the score sheet a little bit too much? Yes, but that's being a youngster. We've got to give him time. You've got to get an environment around him where he's going to flourish. That's up to the manager and his coaching staff for me. But listen, I think we've got to go in for a central attacking midfielder, and we'll wait and see how that goes. But Gelhardt to Rangers is the big one that we're going to be speaking about today. It feels like, you know, according to, I believe it's the Scottish Scum, I nearly said Scum, the Scottish Scum, the Scottish Sun were mentioning it last night that Joe Gelhardt is one of Rangers' target for this January window. So us moving on strikers, Gelhardt, maybe Bamford as well if we can. that would be ideal for Leeds, and let's see how that goes. Jeremy says, Celtic will be a brilliant move for Gelhardt. Rangers will never be the club they were 25 years ago. Do you know what I was going to do, Jeremy? And this might lose me subscribers. Look, you all know I'm of Irish heritage. Conor McGilligan, it kind of gives it away. I went into Adidas the other day, and I thought, I'm a big collector of football shirts. There was a Celtic 96 shirt, which was stunning. Absolutely stunning. I thought I'll buy that. And then I thought, quite controversial, isn't it? I can't be wearing that on streams. I can't be doing it in and around. Like, Celtic are quite a controversial club, aren't they? Them and Rangers. So I feel like there's so many Rangers fans out there. There's so many Celtic fans out there that I'm not going to be sporting a Celtic shirt anytime soon, I don't think. I had a little bit of a rethink about that one. So yeah, I definitely put that Celtic shirt down. But yeah, let's go on to the next bit of news, everybody, shall we? Okay, Leicester and Carlos Corberán. So obviously Leicester looking at a new manager now after Stevie Cooper was sacked. A lot of Leeds fans saying, get Cooper in, get Farker out, I've heard on the sound waves. But when you've listened to how it's kind of gone down at Leicester, you kind of understand that maybe there's a reason why he got sacked. Apparently a lot of discontentment behind the scenes, a lot of disengagement when it comes to the players and Stevie Cooper's techniques. Look, it was lightning in the bottle with him at Forest, wasn't it? Did so well. But you're looking at what Nuno's doing with that team at this moment in time, and you're thinking, my God, maybe it did need a fresh face, maybe it needed fresh tactics, fresh impetus, and Forest look unbelievable at this moment in time, going forward on that transition. They're a little bit like Villa, aren't they, everybody? Just look what we could have been. Why do we have to be languishing in this division? Look at Forest and Villa, who we're competing with for years. My God. Anyway, we'll get back to that promised land, you're hoping. But yeah, no, I think when you're looking at Nottingham Forest at this moment in time, they're sort of a club that you'd love Leeds United to almost emulate in that respect. But yeah, you look at Stevie Cooper leaving, Nuno coming in, there seems to be a massive upward trajectory. Someone who's symptomatic of that at this moment in time in terms of confidence, obviously Chris Wood, Alanga, Hudson-Odoi. So would I go for Stevie Cooper instead of Daniel Farker? I would absolutely not. I've been asked the question on DMs. I've been asked on social media. No, that is not what I would be doing, everybody. And look, tonight we win, we're top of the league. So I understand the context of why people want Farker out, but it is crazy, isn't it? That we're potentially top of the league tonight, and we're talking about Farker out. It is mental. Look, I'm not as enamored with Daniel Farker as a lot of people, but you know, getting him out after being top of the division, I think is strange how football works, isn't it? But look, him being the Premier League manager, if we do get to the Premier League, is a different conversation. But Corberán, Leicester, let's stop waffling. Apparently, he's one of their top targets. That would massively disadvantage West Bromwich Albion. Why? Because West Bromwich Albion are an average football team. Look across that squad. It is absolutely poo-poo. There is nothing in that squad, maybe aside from Josh Madger, that I look at and I think is massively dangerous. Tom Fellows, not too bad, but he is, in my opinion, just an average championship player of which Corberán's getting the most out of. Carlos Corberán's a quality manager. He is a quality manager. At this level, there is an argument he's the best manager in this division. Now, let me tell you why, and probably why Leicester are looking at Carlos Corberán as the pick of the bunch. Carlos Corberán improves players to a level of which they shouldn't be improved to. Getting Huddersfield Town to a playoff final with that team that they had was ridiculous, was absolutely ridiculous. And he does play some good flowing football as well, gets it rigid and solid at the back so that you can keep, you know, that championship thing where you're hard to beat at the back. He's got a really good sort of goalkeeper in him. But you look at that back line, Darnell Furlong, Kyle Bartley, is Shemi Ajayi still playing? Are we serious, guys? And he's managing to do what he's doing with that West Bromwich Albion side. Look, I think he's a top manager, Carlos Corberán. I think if he got to the Premier League, he'd solidify Leicester. It'll be a different task for him, of course. But he has last night absolutely kiboshed these claims and said that he's only focused on West Bromwich Albion. It really does feel that when we went in for him in the Premier League, when we looked at Carlos Corberán, and he essentially was at West Bromwich Albion again, and he said, look, I'm focused on proceedings here. West Brom were looking at, you know, getting to that next level in terms of the Premier League, and Leeds were going down. And it feels like very, very similar. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Let's have a look at some of your keep getting your thoughts in. Steel S says, morning lads, have I missed the Coote chat yet? You have not, mate. You have not. And we're going to be getting into that. Jeremy's in the building again. Very boring style, Carlos Corberán. This is just the difference in the chat. There you go. That's the beauty of football. Jeremy says Nuno's doing a fantastic job. Would we have still have him if we'd been in the Premier League, if we had brought him in? Would we still be in the Premier League? I know your dad wanted him to come in. Yeah, my dad's wanted Nuno for years, mate. And so is, I think Brownie wanted him in as well. Nuno, my dad has mentioned Nuno at least 8 or 9 times. And I've kind of laughed it off because I'm an arrogant Leeds fan. I mean, since then, we've had Sam Allardyce in charge. So there you go. William said, as an Irishman, Evan Ferguson would be a great addition, but he would never move down to the Championship. He's too good. Yeah, he is, mate. And I think that's kind of why we kibosh those claims. I agree with what you're saying there. Okay. Woke up this morning feeling like P did it. No, I didn't. Woke up this morning and looked on my phone and I thought, is there any Leeds news that I need to update the rumour millers on? There is. So additional news to what the schedule was this morning. David Coote. Wow. Okay. So the whole David Coote saga, if you are not aware, David Coote is a referee in the Premier League. He was filmed by a friend, seemingly intoxicated, talking about Mr. Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool had several matches when Coote was in charge of the game, him and his officials. I think he was a 4th official at this point, and he was saying essentially how Jurgen Klopp was a this, that, and the other. Wasn't a fan of him. He was a Canutt, according to David Coote. You guys figure that out, move the certain letters around. And yeah, he's been suspended by the PGMOL, and it's not going well for David Coote at this moment in time. I feel like there's been a bit of a witch hunt at him. You know, I get it. I sort of understand it with the referees in a sense. They've got a personal life. I don't understand. They'll have personal opinions as well. If people genuinely think referees go home, sit in front of a wall, and then just get ready for the next game, they're delusional. We all know that we've had certain referees at this Championship level. There was a certain mini one, wasn't there, that we all weren't a fan of, who have been absolutely atrocious. I think 90% of referees that we come up against in this league are absolutely abhorrently bad. I genuinely believe that, and that's not from a biased perspective. I actually look at it from both teams, both sides. I look at it and I think there are some woeful decisions. Weekend again, terrible decisions. The linesman actually had a really good game, but I'm talking about the man in the middle. Terrible, terrible, terrible refereeing performance. And we'll get it again tonight. You guys know we're going to get it tonight. If Luton decide to come in time waste, they will get the luck of the draw. And I don't know why referees do this. They're not brave enough. They're not brave enough at all. They will just go the status quo. A player throws himself on the floor. It's easy to give a foul instead of just going, no, you've dived. We're going to give you a booking. You know, because that then becomes the big talking point. However, going off on a tangent, but the whole context is the referees at this level and in England are appalling, and they're known throughout the world to be diabolical as well. So David Coote, I think, was an okay referee. Liverpool fans have had a bit of an agenda against him because they believe that Coote was appalling for them in the games that he officiated. This Jurgen Klopp thing came out. Coote has been suspended. So wake up this morning, turn on Sky Sports, and I see little old Leeds United make themselves into the news with David Coote. And I think, why? It's always us, isn't it? Why are we involved in this? Well, in 2019, there was a little bit of a saga where apparently before the game, David Coote was texting a friend and they were talking about bookings, essentially booking points, obviously on a Sky Bet site or whatever it was, Bet365. And this individual was saying to David Coote, Coote wasn't saying anything that incriminating before the game, but he was saying, look, I need X amount of bookings. And David Coote was almost laughing it off. And it is alleged that after the game, after one Özcan Alioski was booked in Leeds United's 1-0 win at home to West Bromwich Albion, Coote texted this individual to say, I hope you had that booking point on with Alioski. I hope you had Alioski on your sort of, you know, your booking accumulator. Sorry, guys, I don't bet a lot, so I'm not sure what it would be, but I hope you had essentially Alioski on your accumulator. So now the FA, PGMOL are investigating this. David Coote has come out for the first time and adamantly backed himself and said, look, this never happened. I will be backing myself. This is all rubbish. It's alleged. Yada, yada, yada. It's not true. It is false. These claims, this never happened. And now it is being investigated. And we're involved in the saga, baby. Championship Leeds United still. If it's on the terraces where every team's singing about us, if it's, you know, teams saying that they don't want us in the Premier League, look, we're always just, we always get ourselves involved in these sorts of things, don't we? It's unbelievable. You know, Leeds are now involved in the saga, like we're involved in the Spygate saga, which took control of Europe and the world at that point. And it feels like now this David Coote thing, because it's the first time Coote has spoken out, and it was such a controversial issue globally, really, when you're watching the Premier League and what was said. He's not spoken out about the Jurgen Klopp thing. He's now spoken out about this Alioski thing, denying everything. So now when you actually look, when you actually go and look at the foul, I watched it and I thought, definite booking. And if you go back, everybody, you'll be able to see it on Sky Sports. I can't show you it now for copyright reasons, but if you go back and have a look, Alioski we all know that when it came to tackles, he was a little bit, Alioski, what are you doing? Darnell Furlong, I believe, they're both going for the ball. Darnell Furlong gets there first, and Alioski takes him. Now, on first glance, I thought, yeah, it's the yellow card. It's one of Alioski's. Alioski turned around and went, no. I did think it looked like a very extravagant dive by Mr. Darnell Furlong, a very extravagant dive. And Coote was very, very quick to get the yellow card out. And this is the problem now. And this is how I don't know how they investigate this. Because obviously they can look at the text, they can look at this, that, and the other. But when you actually look at the incident, it looked like a flying dive by Darnell Furlong. He knew Alioski was coming. There was no contact whatsoever. And he flung himself very, very sort of far out, actually out of touch, I believe. But Alioski didn't touch him. He came away doing that. But what I can also understand is, I've seen those cards given a lot of times, you know, where the player's gone in with a bit of intent. It's 50-50, missed the player as well, but it was the intent, and that's why they've got the yellow card. So I think from now, with absolutely no information and the little information that we've got so far, it's probably false. However, if there are texts and they look at the incident, and naturally the texts are going to impact looking at that foul now as well, because they might be looking and thinking, well, that was an obvious dive. That's not a yellow card, which I kind of was at the second point of looking at it. He could be in big trouble again. And I feel sorry for him in a sense. He's a human being, and there is a witch hunt out for him at this moment in time. But that's what happens when you're a high profile referee on about 100 grand a week, 100 grand a year, I should say. Alioski was the only one booked in that match, Connor. There we go. And that would add to the booking discussion. Such a bad look for the ref, says Steel S. Can lead players to match bans after so many bookings. Bill says we need a striker and a manager ASAP. We have the best teams in the EFL. We need to be beating all the teams before Xmas. If not, then Potter. Potter's actually an interesting one, to be honest, mate, because I think Potter's probably going to come in for Leicester, if I'm honest with you anyway. But get your thoughts in, everybody. Connor never feels sorry for a ref. Andrew says, but now you cannot look at it without doubt. Then you have to speak to both players. I agree, mate. I completely agree with all of that. But yeah, guys, that's been the David Coote chat. Let me know what you think on that one in the comment section below. And of course, we're involved in it now. Of course, we are. We're Leeds United. We're involved in everything. But the Luton game tonight, everybody, if you want to catch that preview, I would genuinely say go watch it with my old man. We did one yesterday. It's about 15 minutes long, talking about the game tonight, talking about all the latest news. And also, we've done, if you want to get involved in Patreon, we've got a 45-minute preview on there talking about everything. It's a really excellent show, for say so myself. We've also got Tiger Tanaka, myself, and Back Four are doing a collaboration right now. We've got loads of Tanaka merchandise, which is class because it almost has a bit of an anime feel as well. So basically, I was walking down with a mate and he didn't even think this was merch. He didn't even think this was Leeds. He just thought this was an expensive brand. I said, no, mate, it's not. It's my merch. So check that in the description below, everybody. Me and Back Four have done a collab, but we've done a little batch on Tanaka. Well worth it. All the designs are absolutely class, if I say so myself. But listen, tune in with me tonight. Don't go anywhere. Don't go changing. I'll see you tonight for the watch along, for the instant match reaction, where we'll try to get the old boy on again, everybody. I'm going to go with a 1-1 tonight. Don't know what's going on. There's something in my bones, which I just don't feel will get that win tonight. Because Leeds always keep it spicy, don't they? It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the other side. Cheers.